So most of us think a computer monitor is just, a glowing rectangle for browsing the web or staring at spreadsheets. But what happens when that screen is actually a $1,155 medical grade tool used in hospital trauma centers? Welcome to today's deep dive, where you and I are looking at a product listing from HDTVSupply for the Hall Technologies HT-HVT27 27-inch touch monitor. Our mission here is to figure out what actually separates specialized medical hardware from the consumer tech you have sitting on your desk right now.
Yeah, that is the big question. And I mean, the difference really comes down to the underlying engineering philosophy,
Yeah.
because when you step into a clinical environment, a display monitor stops being a convenience and it becomes, well, a highly calibrated instrument. Everyday monitors are built for cost efficiency, right? Whereas medical monitors are over-engineered for survival and absolute accuracy.
Right. Looking at the specs, this thing boasts a 2K HD display, a massive 50,000 hour lifespan, and a 10-point capacitive touchscreen with a response time of under 8 milliseconds. Now, I know what 2K looks like, but I'm trying to wrap my head around why you need 10-point capacitive touch. I mean, my tablet has a touchscreen, so is this fundamentally different?
It was very different. Most standard touchscreens are either resistive, meaning they rely on actual physical pressure, or they can really only track one or two inputs at a time. But a 10-point capacitive screen uses a microscopic grid of wires that projects a continuous electrical field across the glass.
Okay.
So when your finger, which naturally conducts electricity, works that field, the screen registers the exact coordinate.
Yeah.
And 10-point simply means it can track all 10 of your fingers simultaneously.
Oh, wow. So instead of just pecking up the screen with an index finger, a nurse or doctor can use complex two-handed gestures, zooming in on an x-ray, or sliding multiple charting windows around at the same time, almost like playing a piano. Or, I guess, like the difference between a regular kitchen knife and a surgeon's scalpel. Both cut, but one requires absolute zero latency precision.
That is a great analogy.
Yeah.
And doing so with virtually zero latency is huge. That 8-millisecond response time is crucial because in a chaotic ER, logging patient vitals or administering medication doses on a connected PC, well, the interface just has to react instantly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, because a half-second delay on a consumer tablet is annoying if you're trying to pause a movie. But in healthcare, a lagging screen causes double taps and workflow errors that can severely jeopardize patient safety.
And that intense engineering approach also explains the 50,000-hour lifespan rate. Because for consumer monitors, manufacturers use cheaper capacitors that naturally degrade when exposed to constant heat. But to hit 50,000 hours of continuous use, which is like almost 6 years of being left on 24/7, you have to design advanced thermal dissipation.
Yes.
You have to use industrial-grade internal components that just simply refuse to burn out.
Yeah, you're basically removing failure points at the hardware level.
Well, okay, I get the need for indestructible internal components. But
Yeah.
I'm looking at another feature here, and I honestly don't get the hype at all. The listing prominently advertises lockable on-screen display menu buttons. You know, those little plastic buttons under the bezel for brightness and contrast?
Right, the OSD buttons.
Yeah. Why is locking the brightness menu a selling point on a $1,000 monitor? It sounds exactly like those annoying locked volume buttons on a cheap hotel TV.
I know it sounds trivial, but think about the physical reality of a nurse's workstation. It is a high-traffic, incredibly chaotic area. You've got people reaching over desks, passing clipboards, moving crash carts.
Oh, right, just constant movement.
Exactly. So if someone's hip just grazes the input button on a standard monitor, the screen goes black while it hunts for an HDMI signal. By physically locking out those OSD buttons, the manufacturer eliminates the risk of a nurse suddenly losing a live feed of a patient's heart rate just because of a stray elbow.
Ah, okay, so it's a physical failsafe against the chaos of the room itself. That is fascinating.
It is, and that need for absolute reliability extends to invisible threats as well. The listing also highlights IEC 606011 and 60601112 certifications, which are strict global standards for medical electrical equipment.
Wait, does that just mean it's grounded properly so it won't shock a patient?
Well, it goes much deeper than that, actually. It guarantees electromagnetic compatibility. See, every electronic device emits a weak electromagnetic field. In your living room, that doesn't really matter.
Right, my TV isn't hurting my couch.
Exactly. But in an ICU, a standard monitor's electrical noise could actually interfere with a nearby EKG machine that's reading a patient's heart rhythm. So this Hall Technologies monitor uses specialized internal grounding and metallic shielding around its power supply to basically trap that electromagnetic interference inside its own chassis.
Wow, so it essentially acts as a quarantine for its own electrical noise, ensuring it doesn't pollute the hospital room's ecosystem.
Spot on.
So, bringing this all together, what does this all mean? The HT-HVT27 isn't just a 2K screen. It blends extreme visual precision with rugged, fail-proof security mechanisms. It shows that technology radically adapts to the stakes of its environment.
Yeah, it really demonstrates how standard functions like touch capability or power management have to be completely re-engineered when human lives are actually on the line.
Definitely. Which leaves a fun thought for you to chew on after you finish listening. Considering this monitor is engineered for over 50,000 hours of flawless, secure operation in a highly chaotic medical environment, how might adopting these rigorous medical-grade manufacturing standards change the lifespan, security, and reliability of the everyday screens you keep in your own home? I mean, imagine a world where your living room TV or your tablet is engineered with that same uncompromising, fail-proof precision.